people feel like you can now be very woke and forget that culture still stands to an extent. So I think we've forgotten about culture. Back then, for example, women couldn't work, couldn't do any of these things. They only said women should sit at home and take care of the kids and everything. But with the woke culture, women can now, do things that men usually do.
Do you agree with certain type of drag?
Yeah, it depends. Yes, like if I.
Was there anybody that was dragged and you say, "Get him"?
Yes.
Oh,
my brother. My brother knows.
No, tell us. I don't know.
Whiskey.
Welcome to the Center Side podcast, where we have open and thought-provoking conversations around culture, society, and everything in between. My name is Oga Peter. Again, I have Fine Boy Sam. Fine Boy Raj is in recess, but we have a very special guest today, right? There's been a lot of testosterone around the podcast, and you know that women make the life more interesting.
Women are salt of the nation.
And because God saw everything He created and said, let's switch it up.
Exactly.
And then He created Eve. So we've been talking around men having testosterone-filled conversation.
Yeah.
So we have a very special guest in our midst today. Pretty lady, to me. See the smile. See the smile. And somehow I'm almost forgetting the topic of conversation. Tomi, you're welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much.
So, how are you doing, Tomi?
I'm very well, thank you.
How do you feel? How do you feel being the pretty girl on the table?
I feel good.
Feel special?
Feel nice.
Feel welcome?
Very special.
Okay, so let's jump into the conversation.
I'm sorry to cause you. We need to celebrate our women today.
Oh, yes.
Happy Women's Day, right?
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
Today is the International Women's Day.
Yes.
Today is like the 25th time we're celebrating women this year.
Exactly.
Yeah, because
women always need to be celebrated. I mean,
out of the 365 days, we celebrate women 367 times, and then we'll fix men somewhere.
I don't think that's true.
No, that's what happens now. Because do you remember when is Father's Day?
I don't remember.
When is Mother's Day?
Every day.
When Mother's Day?
I mean, we have more Mother's Day than
exactly. We have, in fact, even on Father's Day, we still celebrate women.
Exactly.
Because some women will say Happy Father's Day to all the single mothers out there. I can never make sense of that. Even the one day that they gave to us, they still find a way to collect it. I think it ties to what we're going to talk about, the woke culture in our society, right? It feels like our society has become increasingly sensitive. There are things we used to laugh at back in the days. Today, we cannot laugh at them anymore, right?
Yeah.
Today, we have so many words that we have created just to justify our feelings. Now, before now, the woke idea was about civil rights movement, civil liberty, social justice, discrimination. That was the whole idea of wokeness, just to keep you alert, to awaken your consciousness to social issues. But these days, people are using it to project their own individual things. You have things like broke shaming, fat shaming, everything shaming. Let's ask the lady in the house, what do you think about wokeness? What's your idea or definition of wokeness?
Okay, so I think the term wokeness is very broad and often polarizing. So it's like, personally, I think wokeness for me, like you said, what wokeness is actually about is about raising awareness, helping with inequality, talking about inequality, talking about equal rights, talking about, the blacks in America, for example, and stuff like that. And then, it's also to build inclusivity and equality as well, because, back then, for example, women couldn't work, couldn't do any of these things. They only said women should sit at home and take care of the kids and everything. But with the woke culture, women can now, do things that men usually do that people thought women can normally do.
So that
right?
means
So
the woke culture did a lot of good.
it did.
So in itself, it was a very good idea.
Yeah, I think that idea still counts. We can't really generalize and say, oh, the idea is not still there,
So you don't think
right?
that wokeness has gone too far or has deviated
Well,
from the
I
actual...
think, yeah, I think it has deviated quite a lot. I
The
can't
way,
lie.
the way you're
you know.
looking, as if you disagree. Do you disagree?
No, let's not continue now.
Okay,
So,
okay.
Yeah, so I think it has deviated. But I can't exactly use that word deviated because as more years come. I mean, this is what you expect. You
So would
expect
you use
people
the
to
word
bring new
stretch?
terms. Exactly, stretched, but it might not be like stretching to a great direction.
Okay.
But I feel like it's just stretched and it will continue to stretch. That's just how the world is built, I believe.
So, wokeness, right? It's a very interesting term, and the woke culture has done a lot of good when it comes to women's rights, the right to vote, and all of that, right? And that's why we're where we are now. Now that we've gotten here, where are we going to with this woke culture? Wokeness, where are we heading?
Okay, so rightly say, I think that the stretch is kind of like getting out of hand. I feel like we're overdoing things in the terms of when, for example, you said it like now there's even identity. You can be anything. You can be a dog. You can identify as a cat.
Yeah.
You can identify as anything, literally. So I mean, and other not just that. There's also the cancel culture. There's also all of that stuff. So yes, I think that it's deviating, and I think that it's getting to a point where people feel like you can now be very woke and forget that culture still stands to an extent. So I think we've forgotten about culture. I'm a Gen Z, right? And we're the ones that are seen as the woke people the most, we don't want to... Yes. So I think there's a positive aspect to it as well in terms of, let's say, the workplace, for example. Let's say the baby boomers, that's the older generation, exactly.
Yeah.
They used to work so hard, tirelessly. They would do whatever they're asked to do,
So the
with
loyalty.
whatever. The loyalty is there with whatever terms it comes with. But with our generation, with the Gen Z, it's not the same.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I would, if I see
You
something
want to
that...
work, but you don't want to kill yourself.
Yes.
So, what do you have to say about the introduction of technology into this wokeness? Because we can't talk about wokeness and not talk about technology, right? The phones, the social media, and all of those. Those are the places where the wokeness is being put into, so that people can know about it. I mean, if it's not social media, if it's not technology, we wouldn't even know what wokeness is, because, like you said, the cultural values were not really on social media. There were things we learned in our community, in the society we found ourselves, from one person to the other. That's how the communication went, from one generation to the other. I learned this from my grandfather. My grandfather, like that. That's how it is. But with the advent of technology, then this woke idea came very big, where people can express themselves anywhere, any platform that they choose. So, is there any angle of that you could talk
So
about?
you think that it has made us countercultural?
Yes, like definitely, like technology plays a very huge role in terms of wokeness, because yes, with technology obviously you see things more, you know more things, you learn more, whatever, everything is literally on social media. So it definitely does create that sense of wokeness. We learn a lot of stuff, but like I said, I don't necessarily want to just shed that negative light on it. There's also the positive light as well. For example, we all know the benefits social media has done, as much as it has its own negatives. We know people sell on social media, businesses, small business people actually thrive a lot using technology, using social media and all of that. So
you mentioned cancel culture, right? It's also part of the whole idea of wokeness. Do you think that cancel culture is helping to build a system of accountability in our society, or do you think that it's a way to gag people? Like maybe a celebrity does something and everybody says, crucify him, crucify him. Somebody comes to mind, Toyin Abraham. You know, because of her political leaning. Everybody say, don't watch her movie. We don't like her. Stop going to watch her movie. Do you think cancel culture helps build accountability? Because you are afraid that if you go a certain way, people are going to come for you. Or what they say, dragging. They will drag you online.
Yeah,
what do you think about the idea of cancel culture and dragging people online? Because I might say something now, they will drag me. What do you think about that?
So, yeah, the online world, social media world is quite. It's a lot. It's not. I mean, it's a whole lot. So people that are out there, I feel like they should kind of expect it, right? It's what it is. It's social media. Like people create communities. People have what they like, what they prefer, right? So you go for what you prefer and you counter what you don't prefer.
Yeah, but if you disagree with what I prefer, what gives you the right to drag me or cancel me?
Yeah, I don't think that's appropriate.
Have you dragged somebody before online? Have you joined people to drag somebody?
No, I wouldn't know.
It's a safe space. You can say you can say anything.
I don't think.
Yeah, you are covered.
Not necessarily. I don't think I'm like one of those people that will be in the comments and be saying.
Yeah, but do you agree with certain type of dragging?
I mean, some dragging.
Yeah, it depends. Yes, like if I
support this.
Yeah, was there anybody that was dragged and you say, "Get him"?
Yes.
Oh,
my brother. My brother knows.
No, tell us. I don't know.
Yeah. Whiskey. So like. That, for example, that I really like Wizkid, like his music and everything, you know. And obviously, like I'm going to support him regardless. So obviously, if he's been dragged out, obviously that's the only one person that I'm gonna drag.
If they drag Wizkid, you drag them back.
It depends, but I can. Yeah, maybe not on social media. In real life, yes. You know, in real life, yeah, I'll probably drag them. But
it would be on social media because in real life, where are we going to see ourselves be dragging ourselves?
No, like no, we make like we have certain arguments. For example,
okay, so he disagrees with Wizkid. He doesn't.
No,
like
it's like just more like this dragging of Wizkid, Davido dragging, who is better, who is top.
But is Wizkid better than Davido?
And all of those things.
You think Wizkid is better than Davido?
Yes, I do.
Why?
Please,
why is Wizkid better than Davido?
This is going to be a long topic.
Yeah, but I'm curious because again, I'm not for Paul or Apollos, right? I don't care about Wizkid and David. Actually, I do care about. I don't think Wizkid is better than David.
I do think so.
Musically or as a person?
Musically. And as a person.
Yes. But Davido is everybody's man. People
that's
love
the thing.
him.
Yes, he's everybody's favorite. Does not mean anything.
Popularity
you see, that's
likability.
Exactly. That's what we're saying. Like,
but people like him more than they like Wizkid.
Yeah, people like him
not
more.
Necessarily. That's what you think.
People like Davido more. That's why I always say Davido is. I'm not a supporter. I love Wizkid, so I love both of them. I'm not like a Wizkid fan.
So when people say I love both of them,
I mean, like I enjoy their music.
What they're about to say
no. It's just I like both of them. So looking at two people that you like, you have two favorite people. Who among the two favorite people do you think would be at the top?
So musically, do you think David is better than Wizkid?
Musically, I think Wizkid is better when it comes to vocals and everything. Personality-wise, is Davido, and that's why we say Davido would be a better legend because of is people's person. That's why I think.
But there are people who say that he's overdoing it, like he's trying to pander to people.
See, that's what I think.
Exactly, right?
I feel like.
Yeah, you feel like he's trying to get love by force.
I know that literally, like, and he
I'm looking at the way you are looking at her. Yeah, I feel like if not that I know you.
but
I'll drag you by your tail. Oh no, you can feel free. Well, anyway, we digress. I wanted to point out the idea of people's opinion clashing and everybody wants to force their opinion on other people, right? Do you identify as a feminist?
Well,
feminist.
Not so. I feel like that word feminism has
feminist. no. Let's use it this way. Do you like the idea of women supporting women? Is that better? Because people don't like the word. Some people don't like the word feminist. They like that.
Do you think women supporting women is a thing?
Is it? Yeah,
yes,
the trend. Women supporting women.
You know, there's this mentality that people have that women really don't like each other.
Is it a lie?
Yes, it is. So I support my women. That personally.
No. So
no matter what, no matter who you are, well, yes, women. I feel like men say that because they are comparing the relationship they have with their guys with how women are, right? So for men, of course, it's easier. It's like they are just guys. But for women, of course, we're more emotional, we're more sentimental. So we do have certain arguments or feel some certain way just because of our nature and just because of the way it is. So I don't think that...
You don't think that women
really
are more envious and jealous of each other more than men are with themselves and other women?
We wouldn't know. Men hide their emotions all the time.
Yeah, but
We don't know whether they are jealous or
men
not.
relate with women
exactly.
and relate with each other. Yeah, I worked 9 to 5 for a while, for many years, and you can relate to this. A lot of women have problem with their female bosses. I mean, you can relate to that, right? In the department where I worked, I had 3 bosses that were females. When the first one came, the 2 people that fought her were women. The second person came, the 3 people that fought her were women. In fact, they had a problem with me supporting my boss, who is a woman. Now, he doesn't support the idea of women supporting women.
Yeah.
Because you will hear that if you take an opinion poll, let's know what you think about it, right? Do you think women supporting women is a real thing? If you take an opinion poll, a lot of women tell you, I don't like female bosses. There are people who tell you, I prefer male friends. You've heard that term before, right? So does it not mean that women supporting women...
It's not really what it is. It's just a word that's just being used for trends.
I mean, for you personally,
for
it might not be like that, but you observe.
For me
generally.
and the people I surround myself with, and I'm mostly around, is all supporting each other. There's no. I know that happened.
Yeah.
What you said, yes.
So and
for
exception.
female bosses, please, female bosses are actually annoying.
You see,
they are. I don't know if it's the boss thing that comes with it, but yes,
but why
I
is it
can
that
agree.
guys don't feel the same way about female bosses?
Because I feel like the female bosses don't treat guys the same way they treat the ladies.
So that's my point. Why would the female boss treat ladies less than they treat other
Okay, let's say if you're a boss, would you behave the same way to your
That's
other
the thing.
female?
No, I wouldn't,
workers?
because I know what I have been through with female bosses.
So
yes, I might be stern because yes, as a manager or
Yeah.
as a senior manager, to an extent, yes, you have to be.
So do you think that they feel threatened by other females, or maybe because of attention? They want to feel like they're the boss. Maybe there's somebody in her department that is getting attention from the men, and she wants to put her in her place.
It's possible. I mean, it is possible.
Well, yeah, I
Not
mean, you
for
work
me,
in a
though.
child. Did you observe anything
No,
like
so that's
that happening?
no, nothing. My organization is pretty cool. We've not had any
Anything
such
like that?
issues, of women
Well, that's,
having issues
you
with
are
other
the
women.
exception. I'm very interested to know, are you a feminist? And what's your understanding of feminism?
Okay, I think I'll start with
Because
my-
I want to be dragged, but I don't think that it looks like it's going to happen, so I feel sad about it. But let me hear you. What you think about feminism?
Okay, so for me, it's literally women having equal rights as men.
Do you think
That's
men
it.
and women are equal?
This question.
Do you think men and women are equal?
Yes,
You think men and women are equal? In what way?
of course. We're humans. God created Adam, created Eve.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
is
but
what
if-
it is. He
if
never
we're-
said. Of course, he
Okay.
did say that Adam will be the head. I agree with that.
Okay, so you're countering yourself. in
No,
that.
no, you can be. Okay, depends on what you mean. What you mean by equality?
So that's what
Right.
I want to know. Equality in what sense?
Wait, is
So-
it like, okay, let me put it this way, do you believe that men are equal to women, are the same, or you feel like men can also assist
Is my
in the positions where they are lagging behind or something, or is it like you're just saying it like what a man, just like you say what a man can do, a woman can do better? Is
no,
that what you're
whoever
trying?
said that was drunk.
That's the idea.
No. I found out that
Oh.
whoever said it was drunk.
Was
So
it?
let's move on from that.
So,
Let's move on from
so
that.
I mean, I'll just use that as a reference to really know where you're coming from, your direction. Like, is it that, or you feel like, well, we just have, to be honest, I'm not a feminist, but I also support that idea too. So you can drag me.
No. Say,
You can drag
here's the
me.
thing, here's
I
it.
support-
I'm not a misogynist or a patriarchy, whatever, right? I believe in equal rights for all humans. I believe in civil liberty and civil rights. But there is no sense in which men and women are equal. Now, it doesn't confer superiority on men, right? It doesn't mean that men are superior than women.
So what does it mean?
It means that men and women are different. We have our different strengths and different weaknesses. Like anyhow you want to look at it. You want to look at temperament, you want to look at emotions, you want to look at strength, physical strength, opportunities. And there's no sense in which we are equal. Right? Now you can make the argument of, the men are running the world. Do you get? But it makes sense for the men to run. In the army, you have only men. Or mostly men, rather.
Mostly men, yeah.
Right? So, and if you look at the society generally, we look onto men to provide leadership. A society that is run by women
we'll run the world.
Like okay. No, that's just
we'll run the world.
So I think it's more about equal rights and not being equal. That's feminism. It's more about equal rights. What rights do men have? What rights do women have?
Yeah.
So I don't think one should have more rights than the other.
What rights do men have that women don't have?
In the workplace, for example, I mean, it's getting better now, but men literally are paid for the same role. Men are paid higher, but the woman and the man are working the same role. Sometimes the woman is even overworking herself because she needs to meet certain requirements to get to the top in the workplace, right? So that still happens a lot, and I don't think that's fair.
So
because
do men not work longer hours than women?
No. How
You
do they
don't think
work
they
longer
work longer
hours?
hours?
No, I don't
Okay,
agree with that.
So let me give you an instance, right? So when it comes to there's that time of the month and it's nature,
Yeah.
right? So we can it's nobody's fault, right? So we work in the same organization, we do the same thing, right? And there's a certain period of the month where your productivity is shaking because of your mood and your nature, what's going on with you. My boss supposed to care about what's going on in your personal life as opposed to the productivity of his work, right? Now, another point is a business owner is looking at what's going to be good for his business and what's going to give him the productivity and the results that he's looking for. You get? In those areas where men earn more than women, it's because men put in more than women in those areas. And these are statements of facts. If you come to football, for example, male players earn more than female players because women football generate less revenue than men football. How many women watch football? So it only makes sense that if you make more, you earn more.
I feel like that's like football is very different. Football is mostly a man's sport.
Yeah.
Yes, women play it. It just happened that women started playing football, but I feel like that's a man's sport, so that doesn't count.
So
right?
apart from workplace and other, which other rights do men have that women don't have?
That's the thing. I think things are getting better now.
Okay.
Right? Yes, we can now do what men do, things like that. Things are getting better now. So there's no particular right a man has
that women don't.
But yes, men get it. I just feel like men get away with a lot of things.
Has served its time. Can we all go home and share the goals?
I think so.
Well,
yeah, because
we
have fixed everything. Let's just go home and rest.
No, to be honest, I like the idea. Like I said, I'm not a feminist, but I like the idea of women taking positions. Even as an artist, I've done a painting of such before where I painted about a breadwinner. That's a breadwinner, and I made the woman the breadwinner of the family. That she's one providing for everything. So at the end of the day, the idea was not that she's breadwinner. The idea was that women should also take positions.
Yeah.
Why is a woman not a president? Why is a woman
nobody's stopping women?
I know nobody's stopping women, but
do you know how hard it is for women
men
to
will
get
still
to those
it is very hard. You have
positions?
to do extra to get there
exactly.
than a man.
That's not.
It's
exactly.
also hard for men to get to those positions.
That's not true.
No. Here's the fact.
I don't think so.
Only if women use other
because
means.
those places, those opportunities had always been occupied by men, right? Now, say for example, we are vying for a position of the CEO of a company, both of us, and he is a CEO, and the one before him was a man, and the one before him was a man. You see that there's a pattern of only men.
Yeah.
Now you are a woman, I'm a man, right? Now we're going to be looking at competence, and because the men who ran it before, there's certain results that they've checked. Now, so it's not going to be, oh, we're not going to take her because she's a woman. Oh, we're going to take him because if I'm less competent than you, do you think a wise business owner will give me the role because
So what
I'm
if the
a man?
woman is more competent in most, and which can happen in lots of cases? What if the woman is more competent, but they still go for the man because he's a man, and because men have filled the role prior to it, so they are used to the pattern of men. They are scared to try women because they have a particular mindset about women, that women can't take positions and do things. But you'd be surprised that a lot of women are smart. I'm HR. I know this. Like I've been working for a while now.
So in your HRness, like that. Oh God.
HRness.
Oh God. Okay. I went to school. I promise. I promise. I know English. But in your HRness, is that what you people do? You favor men over women?
No.
But
So-
does your HR boss
so-
favor
so-
men over women?
Let me quickly say something. So in companies now, there's something called inclusion, diversity, and
Oh,
equality.
it's in Nigeria now?
Yes, in Nigeria now.
Oh,
I worked
wow.
with a firm like that mostly only dealt with inclusion, diversity, and But that was funny because that's the firm where I had it. A terrible female boss, but I hope she
You
doesn't see this.
even in the inclusiveness, whatever.
Right? So yeah, some people that's why I'm like, human beings will still be human. There's just some people with bad character, regardless.
Actually,
It's true.
I get
So
it.
the same
Regardless.
way that there are
So-
just some men who are terrible, it doesn't mean that men are hostile and are evil to women. Do you agree that?
So we just agree that human beings are human beings.
Yeah,
It's just about
because-
human. It's just
because
about
they're
human
not
nature.
hostile. But
I'm
like-
agreeing with you that human beings are just human beings. So there are bad men and bad women around. So
Yeah.
there are more victims on either side. Do you agree? So because
Yeah.
men perpetrate evil, it doesn't mean that men are bad and hostile to women. Do you agree?
Not all the time.
Not all the time. So you mean that men go out of their way to just show wickedness to women?
Some of them.
Have you had personal experience? Because the way you're saying,
I
it feels
see.
like something comes to mind and you're like, nah.
I know it's just
Nah.
what it is. Like there's just so much out there about men did this, men did that. I'm not saying women are saints or women don't have their own bad parts, but I mean, let's not be biased. I know you're men,
Yeah,
but you
I'm
know
trying
that
not
men
to be
can
biased.
have, men can be funny.
I'm trying, but they
Right.
can be both to men and women too.
Of
Because
course, but-
okay, think about it. If you're going to go into a dark alley, right, maybe in the evening, and you don't feel safe, and that makes sense, right? You don't feel safe because you don't know. You need a man to help walk you through
No,
that dark
I don't.
alley. You don't need
Eh?
a man, right?
If I'm scared.
You're scared of a man
Of a
helping.
man helping because
in the dark alley. No, so there's one trend on
Actually,
TikTok
Yeah.
that used to happen, and they will say, "Oh, would you rather if let's say your friend is alone,
Yeah.
would you rather keep him with a man or a beast?"
Yes.
And most people were saying, "Oh, they would keep him
So
whoever with
who
the
would
beast."
you rather keep?
Well, a beast.
A beast.
I mean, like, yes, men.
So men are that terrible. That
I feel
people
like
will
men
pick
need to do.
beast
I feel
over
like men need to do better, right? We have amazing men, yes, out there, but trust me, I feel like men need to do better in some aspects, and just maybe sexually harassing women.
Yeah.
Get a lot of that. Or honestly, even since I was a kid, I've gotten a lot of that. That is also there. It's Women's Day today, and it's things we need to talk about.
Oh, true.
So like.
I think that it is true. I think that men need to do better. I understand that. I think that also that men need to keep it together so that women can feel safe.
Yeah.
But when you talk about sexual harassment or any form of harassment, boys, if you know, it's just that it's difficult for boys to speak up.
Yeah.
And that's because a man or a boy or a male is expected to have a certain quality. You're not supposed to be weak or vulnerable. I went to a boarding school. I went to an all-boys school first, right? And I know what I know. Female coppers molesting male students. Now, yeah, and they make it look like they are doing the boys a favor. Do you understand? This unequal society we have, right? There's a sense in which women are victims on one side, and there's an aspect of it where men or boys are victims. I know that for a fact. In fact, when we try to intervene, when girls harass boys, even boys will laugh at you if you want to speak up. You should be grateful that the girl is
I agree.
where I worked before, because then I used to work out and all those things. You see girls trying to poke your chest. Yeah.
To see how thick it is.
This is breast.
We can't do the same.
Right?
Yeah.
It's my personal space. And when you say, no, you don't touch me like that, they want you to feel grateful.
That they are even touching you. Yeah.
They don't see it as harassment.
Yeah.
And I
understand
couldn't
that.
speak to anybody. Imagine me going to HR and say, MEC was
Your
touching
breast
my
was-
chest. Do you understand?
I mean,
You see, so it's also unfair on both ends.
Yeah, I understand
And that's why
that.
men don't speak.
I understand
But
that.
I think I get your point, right? It's just that we really need to work together to have a better society.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yes, in
I think that the
total,
brand of
yeah.
feminism we practice in Nigeria, especially among the Gen Z, we're going to talk about that another time. Yeah, because I see that there are some things you want to say, but you don't want to say. It's okay. We've had a very interesting conversation, really.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming. Oh, by the way, we need to get your opinion. Today we had a very beautiful, pretty fine girl on the show. All right, so you don't have any reason not to drop your comment or subscribe, even if it's just to tell us how beautiful she is. We appreciate it. Thank you very much. Your last shot before we leave.
Thank you so much for having me. I had a great time talking here.
Yeah.
Now, I look forward to coming back
Your
here
smile
again.
makes everything better. And
Thank
Fine Boy
you.
Sam is just stunned and
No, I'm
dazed
just
by
I'm
how
just
you are
enjoying the conversation and
expressing yourself.
with
He
a
couldn't-
smile.
He couldn't even oppose you. He couldn't say anything.
I have to support ourselves as of cases.
Yeah, you see, that's the thing we're talking about.
Men
That's the
supporting
thing.
women.
Men supporting women. Thank you very much to me.
Thank
you
so
so
much
much.
for coming. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you on the next one.